All right, let's dive into what has been a truly chaotic 24 hours in the crypto world. We saw the big names bleeding out, a massive 9-figure heist that sent shockwaves through the market, and yet some coins you might not have even heard of were posting triple-digit gains. It's a wild one, so let's break down exactly what happened.
So just looking at the top level, it was a sea of red today. All the main players, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, they all took a pretty significant hit. But you'll notice Solana is down the most. And believe me, there is a very specific and kind of dramatic reason for that. We are definitely getting into it.
So, the big question is, what triggered this whole thing? What's behind this sudden drop? Well, it wasn't just one single thing, but one piece of news, one really big piece of news, played a massive role.
Okay, first up, let's really get into the numbers here and see how bad the damage was across the key assets.
So breaking it down, Bitcoin slipped about 2.9%, and importantly, it dropped below that key psychological level of $67,000. Ethereum saw a 3.5% loss. But the real standout here is Solana, with a pretty hefty 5.4% drop. And this wasn't just random market jitters. Something major happened that targeted its ecosystem directly.
And here it is. This is the story that really dominated the market today. It wasn't about trading. It was about a massive, absolutely massive, 9-figure heist.
The target was a platform called the Drift Protocol. It's a key decentralized exchange built on the Solana blockchain, and it got hit with a really devastating exploit.
And just look at this number. The scale of this hack is just staggering. $285 million. When a loss that huge happens from a single event, you can bet it's going to spook investors. And it did.
So here's how you connect the dots, right? The Drift Protocol is a big deal within the Solana ecosystem. A hack of this size on one of its own key protocols creates this crisis of confidence. And that directly translated into heavy selling pressure on Sol, which explains that bigger than average 5.4% drop we saw.
But here's where the story gets that classic crypto twist. It wasn't all bad news today. In that kind of crypto paradox we see so often, while the rest of the market was falling, a few assets were having an absolutely incredible day.
I mean, seriously, while the big names were tumbling, a few of these lesser-known assets weren't just up a little bit, they were absolutely exploding higher.
Get ready for this. First up, the CTSI BTC pair surged by an incredible 125% in just 24 hours.
And its counterpart, the CTSI USDT pair, was right there with it, posting a gain of nearly 120%. Just amazing.
And rounding out our top movers, FIDA USD jumped over 61%. I mean, these are the kinds of wild, explosive moves that really define what crypto volatility is all about. So you have to be asking, what in the world was behind these massive rallies? Well, in this case, it wasn't a single news event. It was more like a perfect storm of market mechanics. You had a sudden surge in trading volume, a flood of capital just pouring in, and all that investor interest created this really powerful upward momentum. It just goes to show how quickly sentiment can focus on a few assets, even on an otherwise down day.
Okay, so let's shift gears now. Let's move away from the minute-by-minute market action, because there are also some pretty important things happening in the bigger picture in the world of policy and regulation.
And we're going to start with some pretty big news on the policy front coming out of South Korea, where the whole future of crypto taxes is suddenly up for debate.
And this is where it gets really interesting. In South Korea, a crypto tax has been in the works for a while now, but the ruling party, the People Power Party, is now proposing to just scrap it completely. That would be a huge policy shift, so it's definitely something to watch.
Meanwhile, back in the US, the Treasury has started the process of implementing the new Stablecoin Innovation Act. This is a key step. It really signals that regulators are actively trying to build a real framework for stablecoins in the world's biggest economy.
And of course, on the platform side of things, exchanges are definitely trying to capitalize on all this volatility. We're seeing events like spot trading competitions and monthly challenges, all designed to attract active traders.
So after all of that, what's the key takeaway? After a day of such extreme highs and lows, what does it really tell us about the state of the crypto market?
You know, when you boil it all down, today was a perfect storm. It really showed us the two faces of crypto, side by side. On one hand, you have massive systemic risk from things like the drift exploit. And at the exact same time, you have the potential for truly explosive, life-changing rewards. It really highlights that dual nature of this market.
Which I think leaves us with the final and most important question.
In a market this chaotic, where you can have million-dollar hacks and 100% daily gains happening at the same time, how do you, as an investor or just an observer, separate the real signal from all of the noise?